All right, the next voting gauntlet coming soon. If there was ever a voting gauntlet to pay attention to, this would be it. I would be honest, I don't think there's been any other voting gauntlet except for the first one. And I guess the big one with all like the CYO winners or whatever they had. Or there was a lot of CYO winners on it. I don't know. It's been so long. But those first year voting gauntlets, a few of them were worth paying attention to. It hasn't been since that we have had one that I would say you gotta pay attention to. And not only pay attention to, but you gotta care about.
Yeah.
So for this voting gauntlet, there are a few changes, but I'll get over on it. Anyways, Voting Gauntlet coming soon. The Hero Rises 2020 event that is being held to celebrate the 3rd anniversary of the Fire Emblem Heroes game is nearing the end. We've already gone through the voting process of selecting the 8 heroes. We are almost at the voting process of actually finding out who's the winner of the 8 heroes. So, choose one of the 8 heroes who took the top spots in the online vote and lead their army to victory in a voting gauntlet to decide the champion. The winning hero will be gifted to all players once the dust has settled, so think carefully about who to support, which is huge. Now, we'll go over the winners soon because it's actually in here, and well, let's talk about that. Anyways, also starting today and going until March 9th, there's a voting gauntlet login bonus, and you can receive 10 orbs for just logging on daily. But do note, there are changes to this voting gauntlet. For one, the voting gauntlet will not give you a 1.1x voting boost if your leader is the same character as the hero whose army you join. Often enough, this dictates who you support, because you want to maximize the points you do get. They don't want that to influence whether you go for a hero just to get more like feathers from the event itself, rather than like supporting a hero that you want, because it's common sense that you would be voting for a hero you generally don't have, you know? So yeah, take it out. That's cool. In circumstances where the above 1.1 bonus would normally apply, it would only be used for the purpose of calculating your standing shown in the current standing screen and will not affect your army score or the outcome of the voting gauntlet matchups. Huh.
Yeah.
Calculating
So
your
raw
standing. Are they saying they're doing like 2?
So, from the way I've interpreted this, it's basically going to be that the army score and your individual score are going to be different. So, like, you might output a certain amount of score based on your that multiplier, but also, like, it encourages you, nevertheless, to support your army when they're losing, but it doesn't actually affect the results of the fight. It just means that you're putting more effort out to get more reward to you.
Okay. Yeah. So that is strange, because that means your personal points and your contribution to your army are not the same anymore. That's what I'm taking out of that. That means, like, if you do have that hero and you do use it, you can actually outpace your score contributions, because there's still a 1.1 bonus then.
Yep.
That is weird, but all right. I guess if you do have the hero and you're supporting them anyways, you can even boost your points up a bit, which means whoever wins this voting gauntlet, right? Whoever gets number 1 is most likely going to be a dude who supported a hero he has, or she has.
Yeah.
Okay.
More than likely. Which I obviously will not be supporting the unit I have.
Same here. Anyways, once the event concludes, the winning hero will be gifted to all players, regardless of the army they chose to support. So, realistically, you should care about this event, but no matter what happens, you're a winner. Everyone's a winner here.
Yep.
The only question is, how hard do you win? Now, I was really interested in this, because I wanted to see if they seeded it, right? Like, first place voting versus last place voting, right? First place Altena versus last place Edelgard. But they didn't do that.
They went, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of pairs of 2, placement-wise. I gotta double-check that.
I know, but they didn't seed it. I was really interested in seeing if they would seed it, like top hero versus worst hero.
I mean, they still did, results. I think they paired up the left side, for example, is the top and bottom, and then
wait,
right
are you
side
sure? Altena is not...
Altena's the very top, Edelgard's the very bottom.
No, I don't think so. That doesn't...
Altena got first place, and
Yeah.
Edelgard got last. Alm got 7th, Alfonse got 2nd, so they make up the outside. Winter Sothis got 5th, Leif got 4th, so Leif from the upper end is paired up with Edelgard, and Sothis from the bottom end is
That
paired
doesn't
up with
make sense.
Altena.
That's not a seeding.
No, it's obvious.
I'm just saying, how do they seed this? Because if you were serious, right? Like in sports, when you get into the playoff format, your standing matters. It's not like just get in playoffs. Everyone is going to start even. No, it doesn't. The best team fights the team who barely squeaked in, right? Which would make a lot of sense because it would help further give Altena like a chance of like winning this. But the way they have it spread out now, Edelgard is a legitimate threat. Like she is. She could beat Leif because Leif is actually not in the the top quadrant of the voting.
He's actually in the top quadrant. He's in 4th.
Oh, he is in 4th. Well, that's actually right. I did talk about that. He was the second highest riser outside of Year Alfonse. All right, but before that, it's still a very beatable opponent, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, whereas Altena would have to face Edelgard in round 2 with Butts. Or Winter Sothis.
Which is weird too. Winter Sothis was top in the middle of voting, anyways, mid-voting. She
So
was top
the 4th
4.
place goes to Edelgard, 5th place goes to Altena. 6th place goes to Alphonse, and 7th, 3rd place goes to Alm.
It's weird. I don't know. Anyways, what I have to say is I do think Edelgard has a chance still. It's weird, but the first round especially looks like it could be beatable. Just from the
Edelgard
respect.
might win the first round, but if Sothis doesn't upset, she'll probably get stomped.
And also, that's also another thing. I think Winter Sothis could upset Altena. Like,
I mean, Altena got almost 3 times Sothis.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when the
Well, there's no
voting actually
multipliers.
begins. Because it's one thing to give a Hero Rises vote, because you got to remember those votes. You can log in every day and do it, but it's not the same thing as like going to the Voting Gauntlet, right?
Right.
If you're dedicated, it means much more than just a vote. A lot of people are getting this mixed up. Like, yeah, you could log in every day for a Hero Rises and just send in your vote. That's not the same thing as like being a legitimately hardcore player contributing to your hero. Like, that doesn't mean you're waiting until the final hour or you're being smart enough to like forecast or check out data of when it's going to be bonus, right? It's not the same thing. If you have a dedicated core of players on a hero, supporting a hero, that's much more valuable. It could change things just to have a dedicated hardcore fan base for a character. So don't just look like at the blank view and just say, oh, it's going to have more voters and automatically it's going to win. Like, in a Voting Gauntlet, especially with how things work, that's not the case. So I'm interested in seeing what happens, but honestly, I don't think it's free. But for all we know, in like a week, you guys could be telling me how wrong I am. So we'll see, I guess. Anyways, this is really hard because I can't really see who would win. Like, Altena is like the easy pick, but to be honest, you could have tons of casual players. Which, by the way, if you guys ever paid attention to Voting Gauntlet, a lot of cases you can end up in like top 3K and you didn't do much work, right? You just like put in your tickets in the final hour and that's it. Like, you don't even have to like battle every time. Yep. What I'm saying is, like, a lot of times you rank really, really highly and you didn't work really, really hard for it. So if you're with a group that works really, really hard with it, I'm pretty sure that you could turn things around.
Probably.
All right. Anyways, I think the left side seems pretty damn strong. Winter Sothis is a top pick in my opinion, and then Legendary Leif is also a top pick, and of course Altena is the utmost top pick. The right side, man, I feel like the bottom right quadrant is the weakest link, just because of Sothis against Alm. I think that it's really hard to say.
I mean, relatively speaking, yes. Although realistically, both are, especially Alm, still remains a prevalent meta threat. I would say though that Legendary Azura having one does kind of put herself down. But then there's Alphonse.
I think the best heroes from the left side would be between Mythic Altena and Winter Sothis, and on the right side, I think it's probably just Year Alfonse.
I'd still say Legendary Alm has his place up there. But yeah.
No, I get it. I think Alm is really good, but I'm speaking like total complete value.
I suppose that's fair. Although realistically, he is a pair up, and pair up is pretty valuable unto itself, seeing as how that's a literal setter in allegiance battles.
Sure.
But you also have Astra season.
I have Alm, and for whatever reason, every single season I've had to use him, it's been a struggle. It's so weird to me, but yeah, I know what you're saying, and I know for a lot of people it's different, but it's so weird for me. Whenever I use him as my legendary pair up hero, it's been whack.
He's worked just fine for me.
Yep, I knew you were gonna say that.
Yep, I figured you would.
Anyways, to forecast, I do believe Year Alfonse should beat Legendary Azura, though that's kind of sad because I would rather her win, but whatever. Year Alfonse is really, really good. And if anybody can get a second or a first copy of him, you get a lot out of it because he's close counter, special spiral. Huge fodder, not to mention great hero overall. It's the bottom quadrant where I'm a bit more meh on, even though Sothis is actually still good fodder because she is potentially Wrath, potentially attack speed solo, potentially her C skill, what's it called again?
Times Pulse.
Times Pulse. Times Pulse is probably the best thing she has to offer. So she's a really good hero as well. And then Alm's just a good hero, but he doesn't really have a lot of good fodder. I guess null follow-up, but yeah.
Darting Blow 4 still exists, but it's not.
Yeah, it's realistically. Yeah. The top left though, that's what upsets me because I really think Winter Sothis should have been
no fodder.
Huh?
Altena has no fodder, forgetting.
She has no fodder, but you would not fodder her. It would not make sense to fodder her. It's Winter Sothis that I really think was like the second most valuable hero on for this, just because of this encounter special fighter. So,
her fodder alone makes her such a power pick.
And not to mention she's just powerful herself. And the bottom left side, I think of all the heroes here, I think Leif is like potentially the most dominant, just in terms of sheer offensive force.
Yeah.
And I think Legendary Azura is, of course, the best refresher. Oh, man. I don't know how they put this, but I would have put Winter Sothis, or at least Legendary Leif, on the right side, and switch somebody out from there. Alright.
There is a pattern, it's just I can't really describe it very well right now.
I can't even see it. Anyways, that is your voting gauntlet coming up. As for everything else, it starts on the 28th, and it goes until March 4th. I'll be honest, if it isn't obvious yet, IS wants Altena to win. Why do they want Altena to win? Ether raids, they want to make it a big deal, but they know they're locking players out if they don't have said heroes, which is why they've gone to a great extent to fix the light season. Now everyone can compete in the light season. Astra season, however, is still broken, so if Altena becomes a free hero, they don't have to worry about it. People can't really complain about Ether raids nearly as much if Altena is just distributed for free to everybody. You can see it, like they're showing her off here. She was front page in the voting. She is stronger even in the examples. Way to friggin' go. Which, by the way, they rigged it for Legendary Ike as well.
I mean, let's be honest, this is also partially because we voted her in.
Huh?
That much was because she won by a landslide, so obviously the statistics say people want her.
But even before she won by a landslide, they were already rigging in her favor.
Well, everybody was scrolling along the banner. It's just a matter of who you got.
Even if everyone's scrolling along the banner, you realize she's like way further down on the banner. To actually vote for her was actually the difficult thing. You had to actually try.
Mm-hmm. And people did.
And you would do that if instantly on the banner, like the front page banner, it's Altena.
Yeah. I mean, that also didn't, save a lot of the other units that were on the front page of the banner.
Okay, fair enough, but like, front and center, just like Ike. My argument here is simply this. Most people wouldn't take that much time to think about the heroes to put into it. Like, they wouldn't sit down and spend a couple of minutes on it. They would just, like, go with the first thing on their mind. And if the first thing on their mind happens to be the character on the banner, I think people could expect what happens. Anyways, in terms of rewards, they're all the same. They're all the same, except you get a hero at the end. But yeah, that is your voting gauntlet. Let me know who you guys think will win. But realistically, it's a voting gauntlet. It's never obvious. The most popular character usually doesn't win. So I don't know why people think Altena's gonna win.
I'm choosing Edelgard for the last name Kappa.
Taste ass free? God damn it.
Honestly, the most popular wins in like huge landslides, even still.
Wait, really? No way.
There have been some VGs where it's like the other side has no chance, and they lose. I think that's why. I forget what it was.
Even with the Voting Gauntlet update, I've seen heroes that like.
Oh, upset still can happen, but the more lopsided it gets, eventually that upset just gets completely outbalanced by how little support they have. Edelgard is mostly just cult followers and memers. But I guess we'll see about that one.
Probably the best thing about this is the first time ever that we're not gonna have like feather mercenaries. I mean, if you're feather mercenary in this, you're retarded.
We'll have feather mercs. There will always be feather mercs. They're just stupid.
Okay.
They should feel bad.
God damn. Can you imagine if there are feather mercs in this? How stupid can you be? Go for the hero you want to win. Don't go for some stupid feathers now of all time. Oh, bruh. No way. I don't. If there are feather mercs out there, fuck them. That's the most cancerous thing to do. And you know, if you feather merc here, you would go for Edelgard.
Yeah.
Bruh, that's so stupid.
We already have the memers going for Edelgard. Why not also the feather mercs?
Oh man, no, I don't even want to talk about that. That's so dumb.